Okay, so this question says, what is the total force on a tabletop where the pressure exerted is 6 kilopascal and the area in question is 0.3 meters squared? Okay, so just like everything else, once we have a question, we try to pull the data out of the question. So the question is asking for the total force on a tabletop where the pressure, so pressure is the first piece of data that is given. We are given the pressure as 6 kilopascal. As per method, you are required to convert to the SI unit. So 6 kilopascal is the same as 6,000 pascals. So we convert it one time. The next piece of information given there is the area in question. Area in question is 0.3 meters squared. That is already in the SI unit, so we leave it as is. They are asking us to calculate the force, so we put force as a question mark to indicate that we are about to calculate the force. Now we must look for the equation that has pressure, force, and area in it. We know that equation for pressure exerted by solids as pressure is equal to force on area. Now we must transpose this to find the force. Yeah, so in transposing this, we'll find that force is equal to pressure multiplied by area. Alright, I'm gonna continue the calculation here. We could substitute values since we have the value for the pressure and area. We could go right ahead and substitute the values. We'll be substituting 6,000 pascals multiplied by an area 0.3 meters squared. Now we must look at the units. Since this is force that we are about to calculate, we want to indicate the value that we find in newtons, because the SI unit of force is the newton, which means at this juncture I will change this pascal to newton per meter squared. As you know, 1 pascal is equivalent to 1 newton per meter squared. So I'll state that since 1 pascal is equal to 1 newton per meter squared, it means that if I'm to rewrite this, I could rewrite it as 6,000, force is equal to 6,000 newton per meter squared multiplied by 0.3 meter squared. Now we look to the units first, as with all calculations, to ensure that our units work. If we look here, we can cancel this meter squared with the per meter squared, and we'll be left with the newton. So we have an answer in newtons, and we have 6,000 multiplied by 0.3. That should work to 1800 newtons. Should we leave this answer as 1800 newtons, or should we rewrite this with respect to the most appropriate SI prefix? Yeah, so let's do that. 1800 newtons, we could divide by 1000, shift the 0.3 places, and we'll get 1.8 kilonewtons. Yeah. Alright, so that was a relatively easy question.